In this video we are going to take a closer look at a topic that might spread dread across the Deathwatch community. The potential discontinuation of our army of Renown, the Kill Team Strike Force, by the end of the year. Wait, what? Yeah, that's right guys. As it currently stands, our most popular style of list has an expiry date of January 2023. Over the course of the video, we will first take a look at the source of this information. In the second part, we will then go through what this potentially means for the Deathwatch. Lastly, there will be a quick wrap-up of what has been covered.
Welcome to SwissHammer, your channel for modeling in Warhammer 40k. My name is Tammer and I will be guiding you through this video.
Back in April, GW released a document called Content Validity Updates, which is available as a free download on the Warhammer community website. In a nutshell, this document lists which Psychic Awakening, as well as campaign books and Flashpoint rules are still up to date. The document further states that of course you and your opponent can play using whichever rules you agree on, but this is the official recommendation, and with that what will apply to match play and events in general. What stands out here for the Deathwatch is the WZ Octarius 1 Rising Tide entry, which lists our army of Renown, the Kill Team Strike Force, with an expiry date of January 2023. Of further note are the Tyranid-related entries, which have already been discontinued due to their new codex release. Furthermore, I think this example also highlights the main point of this whole document, namely, to avoid all the rules that were not part of a main codex or supplement to clash with these new releases. So far so good. However, I think that there is also no guarantee that any such rules will necessarily make it into a new codex or supplement release. For the Deathwatch, this is of course reason for concern, as our army of Renown is not only highly competitive, but also ties perfectly into the lore of our faction. With the basics of the Content Validity Updates document covered, what does this mean for the Deathwatch? First of all, I want to point out that I have no insider information on this at all, and I frankly don't think that there is any credible source for potential leaks available at this point, which makes it difficult to accurately predict what is really going to happen. For the purposes of this video, I have narrowed it down to the 3 most likely events that I could see happening as we are nearing January 2023. First and perhaps most likely, there are rumors about a Space Marine 2.0 codex coming out this year, in addition to some supplements getting a rework. However, as far as I know, these supplements are tied to the Space Marine chapters that did not get theirs for 9th edition yet, and are basically still stuck with an FAQ. Should this Space Marine 2.0 codex bring major changes, it is likely that Space Marine chapters with an existing 9th edition supplement will also get some FAQ, which is what happened with the release of the 9th edition codex, but for Deathwatch in particular, there is always concern that they will make this one quick and dirty and not really look into our kill teams and unique datasheets too much. Depending on how far 10th edition is still out at this point, we might be in for a long wait until we get a proper rework of our supplement again. To sum it up, I would consider the release of the Space Marine 2.0 codex towards the end of the year a likely possibility, makes for a good Christmas sale after all, but I am very skeptical about Deathwatch getting a full supplement rework that ties into potential new datasheets to be included in kill teams, as well as making certain elements of our army of Renown a baseline for the faction. This is certainly the worst possible outcome, as it strengthens other Space Marine chapters, and weakens us in turn. A second possibility would be that there is indeed a Deathwatch supplement rework as part of an overall Space Marine faction overhaul in the works, and this would include either making the Army of Renown an option as part of our main supplement, or perhaps incorporating certain elements as baseline for the faction. I think the most obvious change here would be to make veterans of the Long Vigil an official part of the army, for instance by including that ability as part of our super doctrine. As I covered in a recent video, while I think that mission tactics is great to have as such, both our chapter tactics and super doctrine are a bit underwhelming when compared to the other chapters, as they just lack raw stats. Furthermore, I also think that this would be a relatively easy way for GW to throw Deathwatch a bone in 9th edition without having to dig too deep. After all, the Army of Renown has been immensely popular, players in general like the rule, and it has been playtested extensively at this point. To sum it up, this would be a new codex plus a reworked supplement, certainly what I would consider the most preferable outcome, but I am having my doubts about it happening. Then as a third possibility, I think that we should also consider no major rules updates happening. This might be due to releases being pushed back, or simply due to a Space Marine 2.0 codex not being as close as we might have thought. Should no major rules updates happen, the question is whether GW would simply let our Army of Renown rules expire, or if they would push back the expiry dates and basically give us a grace period until they are back on track with their new releases. Needless to say that the rules just expiring would be very bad, as it basically leaves us with nothing else to show for, and ultimately it is just a date in a document that they have to update. As such, I am fairly positive that they would extend the date. Among other things, the document also contains datasheets for the Gravis Captain and the Ancient, and while these expire in June rather than January, I think that they won't just let datasheets tied to new models available for purchase go to waste. But anyway, we will see. In case no major rules updates were happening, I sincerely hope that they will just push back the deadline. Overall, while it is of course difficult to predict what exactly is going to happen to our Army of Renown in January 2023, I think the three most likely options are either number 1 a new Space Marine Codex without the proper supplement rework, number 2 both a Space Marine Codex and Deathwatch supplement rework, also covering the Army of Renown to some degree, or number 3 nothing happening at all, with the expiry dates then hopefully being pushed back. Regardless of what is going to happen, I think that we are a bit at an impasse as a faction, with our strongest rules being tied to an Army of Renown that is not a part of our actual supplement. Should we lose the Kill Team Strike Force in one way or the other, we would really need some rework of the kill teams, preferably by unlocking both existing as well as any potential new datasheets available to Space Marines. But regardless of the options available for kill teams, I think the majority of Deathwatch players, myself included, really enjoy the Veterans of the Long Vigil ability and being able to make use of all the different chapter tactics, and it would be a real shame to see this go. Don't let us down, GW. To wrap things up, over the course of the video, we have looked at the Content Validity Updates document available on Warhammer Community and how it currently lists our Army of Renown rules to expire by January 2023. While it is impossible at this point to predict what exactly is going to happen, there have been rumors about the Space Marine 2.0 Codex to be released towards the end of the year. Whether we will also see a rework of the Deathwatch supplement, or just a quick and dirty FAQ, remains to be seen, but there is the likely possibility that the Army of Renown will no longer be available. I suppose that's the downside of having such a strong competitive pick as part of a campaign book, rather than our own supplement. Another possibility is that GW will be unable to stick to their originally intended release schedule, aka no new codex or supplement rework happening this year, at which point they might simply push back the deadline. Would at least be an easy fix. Regardless of what is going to happen, I think we must at least consider the possibility that the Kill Team Strike Force will go away in one way or the other. Given its immense popularity and ties to the lore, I think GW would score a lot of points with the player base by simply making Veterans of the Long Vigil a baseline ability for the faction, but as it is with GW and underrepresented factions, you never really know whether it's actually going to happen or not. All in all, Interesting times ahead. So that's it for the potential discontinuation of our army of Renown, the Kill Team Strike Force, by the end of the year. What do you guys think is going to happen by January 2023? Are we going to get spoiled with a new codex and a new supplement both? Or is GW going to forget about the Deathwatch once more? Will you miss our army of Renown? Or are you looking forward to playing different styles of lists once more? Let me know in the comments. Finally, I would also like to mention that there is a SwissHammer Facebook page where I will be posting links to my videos as well as articles I find of interest. I do read a lot about the hobby, but not all of it will always end up as its own video. I look forward to seeing you there as well. I do also have a Patreon page. If you like my content, any additional support is greatly appreciated as it helps me invest into future videos. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. I hope you have been enjoying this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again and see you next time.